excited to be part of the global design team that created the new generation Land Cruiser and brought it back to its roots. So when we looked at developing this idea, one thing that was very, very important to us was to continue to maintain the authenticity of Land Cruiser, what it represents.
Part of Land Cruiser's heritage has had open air concepts. If you look through all their old marketing material, they were the topless version.
And so when we were asked to come up,
the team members were sketching, not intentionally tying to the heritage, but just emotionally connecting to Land Cruisers of the past, and some of these themes initially were just based around connecting more with the environment that you would be in.
And we thought just opening it up to the outdoors was a perfect opportunity.
You know, we had this idea of functionality, we had the idea of open air, we even had this early concept of you need some open storage, and it was taking those ideas and slowly putting them into what the concept is.
It's that different, not everyday run-of-the-mill project. You get to run a little more free and ad-lib kind of what you're doing as the project goes. There's obviously that overall base schedule and base concept that you have to follow, but how you get there, you have a little bit more freedom. You don't have to follow all of the design standards. You're not so tied in to make the project work and still have a functional vehicle and provide that to the customer at the end of the day.
We have faced a lot of challenges. Andrew and I back and forth almost hourly every day trying to solve one issue or another. The function of the bed, because Land Cruiser has a lift gate, so we had to convert the lower portion of the lift gate into a functioning tailgate, which was its own project. And then how do we fabricate a mid-gate that would work and make sense with the existing rear seats in the Land Cruiser? We were able to come up with some really clever solutions to get it all to come together and make use of space that seemed like no man's land at the time when we began the concept.
If you look from the rear of the vehicle, we've got the new header in place, and we do have to do some massaging of the sheet metal for straightness. The team has also closed out the inner panel to complete this, so these doors are very close to being ready to go over to the paint shop. So this week we've been working on the final assembly of the vehicle. One of the main components is the wiring of all of the new accessories. So we've integrated that wiring into the vehicle IP or the instrument panel itself. We've got some additional production switches that will activate and control the fog lights, the light bar, plus the rear lights as well. So the team is working to build that final wiring harness, wire all of those lights into the existing production so it has a very factory look.
So the vehicle obviously has a ton of recreational purpose that you could use it for. So we came up with the acronym ROX, or ROX, which stands for Recreation Open Experience. The open cabin, the feeling that you're connected to your surroundings while you're having adventures off-road in the wilderness.
Everyone's gotten so used to being digitally connected all over the place. So you talk in your car, you listen to your radio and music, podcasts, all this stuff. But if you've ever been in a convertible, you know the one thing you can't do is any of that. So you only can interact with the environment around you. And that is still the link to a world that almost doesn't exist anymore. And I believe when you're going off-roading and you're going off the grid, the last thing you want are all those things you're used to. And I think if this vehicle were available, that connection to unfortunate time that doesn't exist anymore would be amazing.
We work closely with our interior team and our color and material group as we begin the development so that the paint of the exterior would harmonize well with the interior finishes and the very cool textures and areas of stitching that they were able to achieve on the interior.
We put a lot of thought into how it's going to come across. What is the message? What is it trying to capture? Our CMF team basically makes sure to take care of all the exterior colors as well as the material.
Is a really nice combination of fantasy and potential reality.
Overall, the proportion of the vehicle is really cool. Not only is it lifted, not only does it have giant tires on it, giant flares, when you park it next to a production vehicle, it is so different. It's so big and it's so cool.
Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to Stage for interesting videos on a range of topics. Also, if you are interested in movies, check out samindram.com and rate movies, actors, cinematography, story, and many other criteria.